सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 ओम श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते। So, Mohini ji, I have unmuted you.
Okay.
We'll chant the 1.14 and 15. Tattvavivekah kaha.
Tattvavivekah kaha. Tattvavivekah.
Atma satyam.
Atma satyam.
Yeah, once is enough. Tadanyat sarvam mithyeti.
Tat sarvam anyam mithyeti.
Tad anyat sarvam.
Tad anyat sarvam.
Mithyeti.
Mithyeti.
Atma kaha.
Atma kaha.
Sthula sukshma.
Sthula sukshma.
Karana sharirat.
Karana sharirat.
Vyatiriktaha.
Vyatiriktaha.
Panchakoshatitas san.
Panchakoshatitas san.
Avasthatraya sakshi.
Avasthatraya sakshi.
Satchidanandarupas san.
Satchidanandarupas san.
Yastisthati.
Yastisthati.
Sa atma.
Sa atma.
Okay. So audio good?
Yes.
So audio all right?
Audio is all right.
Yeah. I think that you are hearing it with a little bit of a with a delay. I think you are.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. So let's see how it works now.
Okay.
Okay. So, last couple of classes, we have covered a couple of important aspects about Atma. First one being Chit, consciousness, Chit. And the second being Sat, not subject to time, not limited by time. These two aspects we analyzed. So the self-evident, self-conscious, non-objectifiable, invariable consciousness, Chit, is the Sat, which is not subject to time. The Sat, which is a content of time itself. This we saw. The Sat is related to Satyam, and we can use the word immortal temporarily. So we also then saw that Atma, Atma is free from unhappiness. We analyzed whether happiness is something that visits us. I am basically a sad person, and whether happiness visits us and then goes away. We refuted that fact and said that is not possible. And we also said Atma, the source of happiness cannot lie in an object. An object cannot be a source of happiness. Happiness cannot be a quality or an attribute of an object. There is no place which if I go, I can become happy. Even though a lot of people go to certain places, still that no place is a source of happiness, joy. No time, no particular time is a source of happiness. Even though in Tamil Nadu we have things like Vaikunta Ekadasi, the 11th day of the lunar cycle, and one particular month it is called Vaikunta Ekadasi. So that is a chance for us to go to Vaikunta. And so there is Swargavasal and all that. So they if you look at it this way, then that's Vaikunta. Look, that's Vaikunta. So it's good. So we have all these things. There is some beauty to all this. Okay. And so unfortunately, no time seems to be a source of happiness. Maybe a temporary relief I get. And nobody is happy being unhappy. That also we saw. These facts we have to remind ourselves. And we analyze this experience of happiness. The moment of joy. I want something, and the moment I get something. So when I see this child smiling at me, an infant, maybe just few months old, 3-4 months old, it is able to see now, and it is smiling at me, and I look at it and I'm filled with joy. I don't know why I'm filled with joy, but I'm filled with joy. So at that point, what we say is, I am normally a wanting person. I want A, B, C, D, so many things. And I get some things, some of those things sometimes. When I get what I want, at that point, the subject and the object fuses into one whole. There is no longer the separation called subject-object separation. There is no longer the separation called wanted separation. Please remember that. When that separation is not there, I am contented. So we analyze that. So this is what we call happiness. In fact, the only happiness we know is experiential happiness. Experience. This is where experience comes. I had the experience of joy. I had the experience of ecstasy. I had the experience of calmness. All these things we say. Okay. And we also said unhappiness is against my nature. All this we've analyzed. So today we are going to continue that and try to see that Atma has no spatial limitation. Atma has no spatial limitation. Spatial limitation means that which exists in one place but not in other places. That is called, if we can say that of an object, then we can say that object is spatially limited. It occupies a certain space and only that space, no space outside of that. When we say an object is spatially limited, that object must have a form. When we say an object is spatially limited, that object must have a form. So any object you take in this world that we can perceive, from small telephone onwards to the house and the tree and the earth and the planets, every object which of course is spatially limited. The earth is huge but spatially limited. Saturn is huge, spatially limited. The sun is much bigger than these planets, spatially limited. Solar system is big. But when you see this Google video, beautiful Google video if you have not seen, and it's called Google Perspective. If I don't know how many of you have seen it, and Google it. And it starts from a person, the camera keeps going up. And I've seen it so many times and I'm still not tired of looking at it. And it takes you up on Earth, and then now planets, and then solar system, and then the gas, Milky Way galaxy, and then they keep on going. Keep on going. And they talk about clusters and this and that, and all these scientific words are there. And the camera comes down again. Then clusters, and then solar system, and then planets, and then Earth, and then some North America, and then this, that, like that, it goes down. And then it comes to person, and then it goes to eyes. Is there some noise? So, some disturbance somewhere? Yeah. So let me... So I muted Ashutosh. So I don't know. We are learning all these tricks. Even I'm learning these tricks. That's what I should say. So that camera comes down to the eye, and then it goes into the eye, and then it says retina, and then it goes on, and then the cell, and then ribonucleic acid and DNA, and then this goes on down, and goes to quarks, and then the camera comes up. And it's amazing because in this vast world, first of all, the world is so vast. If I didn't know, now I can come to know, oh, there are other solar systems also. Oh, other planets are also there. Other people are there, I must know. And here I am. And this ego is there. And I think I am this greatest guy. And one will see this video to show how great we are. So, spatially limited, however big it is, spatially limited, has a form. Air is invisible. Air seems to be everywhere. But even air is not there beyond this so-called atmosphere. And air is also an object which has a form in our model. That is why you can create a vacuum. You can create a vacuum by removing all the air. So, form, spatially limited. So the question is now, does space have spatial limitation? So we need to ask first, what is space? What is our understanding of space? When I say space here, what I mean is, in Sanskrit, Swamiji talked about a wonderful definition of space. This is there in the book. Avakasha Pradatri. Avakasha Pradatri. Pradatri means that which gives. Data, that which gives. One who gives is Data. Pradata means one who gives like nothing, like anything. Prakarshena dadati. There is nothing like gives like this. That is called Pradata. And Avakasha Pradata. Avakasha means accommodation. Accommodation. That which accommodates is called space. Just think about this definition. Look at the way defined. That which accommodates means that which doesn't say no. Yes, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Hang around, hang around. You don't have to leave. Hang around, hang around. This is space. No, I'm Jupiter, I'm too big. Yeah, no problem. Hang around. This is called space. So, this is how we visualize space. The idea of distance comes when you visualize space. And that is the space we are talking about. So, this space, can it be spatially limited? Now, if you point to something in space and say, yeah, space is not there, then that is a wrong statement, because the fact that I pointed to some place shows that is part of space. So I cannot point to anything and say it is not in space. So space is not spatially limited. Now the question is, come back to consciousness. Is this consciousness spatially limited? If I say consciousness is limited, then that consciousness will not have access to so many things. Will not have access to so many things. Space is all pervasive, but consciousness is limited. Means space will become the adhara. Space will become the adhara means space will become Satyam, consciousness will become Mithya. Consciousness will have a form. Consciousness will become objectified. And we saw that consciousness is self-existent. It cannot be objectified. There is object consciousness. There is car consciousness. There is home consciousness. There is lamp consciousness. There is no lamp consciousness, but there is consciousness. So this invariable consciousness has to be or cannot be spatially limited. When I think of space, space is there. Space consciousness is there. But in deep sleep, there is no space consciousness. But there is consciousness. So consciousness cannot be spatially limited. We will analyze this more later. So now we can point to a method that we are using without actually pointing to it. It's called Anvaya Vyatireka. Anvaya Vyatireka. Anvaya means presence, co-presence. Vyatireka means absence. In order to understand the reality of an object, we will ask what features of this object are always present. That is the question to ask. Always present. So I take a pot, a clay pot, and ask the question. There is clay, there is pot. We have analyzed this and we said the pot came into being. The clay was always there. Pot came into being, and when the pot is gone, the clay continues to be. So there is Anvaya, presence of clay. But this pot has Vyatireka. Clay has no Vyatireka. Pot has Vyatireka, absence. Absence. So we saw that. So we saw that pot is mithya and clay is satyam. And so what we say is pot is actually coming and going, and we say pot is not an intrinsic attribute. I mean, pot is not an attribute of clay, of course, because clay always is. Pot comes and goes. At best, we can say it is an incidental attribute of clay, because there is a close connection between pot and clay. You can't seem to separate them. They're not two separate objects. So we say pot is an incidental attribute of clay. You look at this in our language, what do you say? We say clay pot, correct? Pot is a noun. In English language, the word pot is a noun. And what is clay? Clay is an adjective. The word clay is an adjective. What is an adjective? Adjective is a word that qualifies a noun. We've all studied that. Qualifies, that which qualifies. If clay qualifies the pot, hey, what about this time when the pot was not there and clay is there? Wait, I'm here right now. I'm about to create this pot. And you're telling me I qualify pot? Hey, the pot is the one that depends on me and for my existence. I mean, I give the existence to pot. And so pot, we say, qualifies clay for a time being, as though qualifies pot. Therefore, it is better to say, in our understanding, the way we should understand this is potted clay. Correct? Potted clay would be a better way to say it. It is a better way to reveal our understanding of reality. Look at that. Our language makes us think in a certain way and takes us in a wrong direction. Right? Clay pot. Clay pot. Golden bangle. Golden bangle. Hey, gold is Satyam. When you go to the store, the fellow, you say, I want to return all these old jewelry and I want to buy new jewelry. He just puts it all in a little weighing machine and he weighs. He wants to know how much gold is there, how much material is there. He is not concerned about whether it is a chain or it's a bangle or it's a ring or nothing. Because gold is Satyam. Everybody knows that. Okay. So coming back, Anvaya Vyatireka we use and we find that. What do we find? We find that space consciousness is space consciousness is not when I'm intently playing an instrument, when I'm intently listening to music, when I'm intently listening to somebody, there is no space consciousness. There is no time consciousness, but consciousness is. That is why we say, oh, I didn't know, it's already 1 hour. I thought we just started the class. So, no idea of time. But I am there, consciousness is. So, in all these experiences, consciousness is. Okay. That is how we use Anvaya Vyatireka, consciousness is. Another way of looking at it is, I am awake now. 3 states of experience we all have, we saw that. Waking state, where I call myself a waker, if I can use the word for now. Then I go to, then the time to sleep has come and I am dreaming, I am in a dream state and I call myself a dreamer. Of course, after waking up, but at that point, I am a dreamer. So, in the dreamer state, when I am dreaming, when I am in the state of dreaming, the waker is gone. The role of the waker is negated. The waker doesn't exist. At least the waking state doesn't exist. Dream state is on. I am there in waking state. I am there now in dream state. And after I sleep, dreamless sleep, dreamer is gone. Dreamer is negated. Dreamer consciousness gone. Consciousness is, I am there. I am now sleeping. So during that sleep, what about the individuality? In waking state, there is full individuality. I know who I am. I know what I did, what I accomplished. I know all my relationships. Everything I'm aware of. And I'm aware of all the challenges I have, all the problems, all the conclusions. Everything I'm aware of. When I'm asleep, there is no awareness of who I am. The individuality is not there. I am here, I am sleeping in my room, or I am sleeping in my parents' home. All these ideas are not there. No ideas. There is no experience in particular. This is the definition of deep sleep. if at all we can define it, we can say an experience where there is no particular experience is called deep sleep. That is why when I wake up, I can say I slept well. Without an experience, you can't say that. You can't say I slept well. So we say, okay, individuality is not there, but not totally dismissed. Ahankara, the sense of I is not there, but rudimentarily there. Some presence consciousness, of course, is there, but the idea that I slept, I can see that I have had some kind of experience. So therefore, we saw that Chit is invariable. So if Atma's nature is consciousness, then Atma is Chit. And Atma is also Sat, which is not bound by time. We saw that earlier. So Atma is Sat. And now we are seeing that Chit cannot be bound by space. Cannot be bound by space. And Chit, Sat is formless. Because that which has form must be essentially spatially limited, and that which is formless has to be spatially free, unlimited, limitless, if I can use the word. Those two go together, limitlessness and formlessness. Okay, so now we are going to ask a question. What is the distance between Chit, consciousness, and any object? Any object in this world. Okay. What is the distance between pot and clay? Pot and clay, the distance cannot be anything. There can't be a distance. Because clay is everywhere and pot is limited, and wherever there is pot, there is clay, so there can't be a distance. The distance between wave and water is of course zero. There can't be a distance. Space is all pervasive. There is no place where space isn't. The distance between and no place where there is no consciousness. Distance between space and consciousness is zero. Space and consciousness cannot be spatially apart. The moment I am aware of space, there is space consciousness. So the distance between Chit and any object in space, which is space, has to be zero. There can't be a distance. If I ask, what is the distance between you and me? Then if we take ourselves to be these bodies, then we say there is some distance. Those days in the class, in a physical class, everybody is sitting, the distance is few meters, 2 meters, 5 meters, 10 meters, we can say. But now, I don't know what kind of answer we can give. I mean, the computer is 3 feet away from me, and your image is 3 feet away from me, and this image is so many miles away from you. Oh my God. The whole mathematics is different now. It's amazing. The minute you take something for granted, then suddenly that situation changes. So physical me and physical you, yes, there is a distance. We can measure the distance and we can cover that distance given some effort and time. All that is possible. But if I ask, what is the distance between you and me, the consciousness? If I ask, then we have to say consciousness is not spatially limited like space. And therefore, the answer to that question is no different than what is the difference between this, our sun, our source of light, the sun, and me, the consciousness. And what is the difference between this star, which is so far away, and me, the consciousness? There is no distance. This we have to appreciate. If it is hard to appreciate, that is because my idea of consciousness is I am consciousness. So consciousness is here. I don't see consciousness anywhere. I'm conditioned to think like that. That is why it can be a little difficult. I understand. So, Atma Kaha was asked. Atma Chit, which is that Chit again, to recap, the invariable self-evident consciousness. Atma Sat, always existent, not bound by time. It won't come and go. No birth and death. That is Sat. And now, Atma is limitless. We saw consciousness is limitless. And Ananta, limitless, the word for limitless in Sanskrit is Ananta. जिसका अंत नहीं है वह अनंत है. अंतः न विद्यते यस्मिन् सः अनन्तः. The one that does not have an end is called Ananta. Literal meaning of the word Ananta. Now, this Ananta is limitlessness. How did it become Ananda? Ananta becomes Ananda when it is experienced by me. Ananta, limitlessness, will be Ananda from the point of view of my experience. There is something called human experience. And when that subject-object fuses, when that wanting person wanted object fuses, when there is nothing, there is no separation, that is limitlessness, and that is what I experience as Ananda. So cognitively, in my understanding, limitlessness I can appreciate, wholeness, completeness. That is cognitively, from the perspective of my understanding of reality. And experientially, that limitlessness is called, we can use the word happiness, we can use the word purnaha, we can use the word fullness, lack of nothing. We can perhaps use the word contentedness. Some of these words are not good. We need to be careful. But that is what limitlessness manifests in my experience as Ananda. So limitlessness because it doesn't come and go. Really speaking, Ananda also cannot come and go, as I think it comes and goes today. Happiness is a visitor. So why is that? So now we can see Atma is Sat, Chit, and Ananta is Ananda from an experiential point of view. Therefore, Atma is Sat, Chit, Ananda. You see how carefully we have to navigate this. So, we talked about the role of ignorance. Ignorance is what denies me the recognition of limitlessness. I am unaware of it. Therefore, I have no choice but to conclude myself as limitless. I am only as good as this body, mind, sense. I have no choice. Nobody has a choice, really speaking. And so I am a mortal. I am subject to so many problems. We saw this earlier. So this idea that I am small, I am inadequate, I am subject to death, I am subject to, if death is far away, I am subject to sorrow, I am subject to depression, I am subject to disappointments. The list is endless. And I want so many things. Of course, I want to be loved by everybody. I want to be respected. There are so many wants I have. No guarantee that any of these wants is going to be satisfied. That also I know. So I am helpless. But the amazing thing is, with so many problems that I have, when I sleep, I am free from all these problems. If these problems are intrinsic to me, in other words, if these problems are sticking to me, they belong to me, how come I can sleep happily like this? No wonder sleep is such an inviting experience. Physical fatigue we can deal with. We can deal with physical fatigue. But the fatigue inside, this is where the problem is. And sleep is an inviting experience. And any moment of joy, the star I look at and say, wow, it is twinkling. It is somebody told me, this the same star that your grandfather saw, your grandmother saw, your great-grandparents who you don't even know their names. And even they saw the same star so many years ago. My God, that is the star you are looking at now. The sun itself, that is the same sun you are looking at. My God, it's so amazing. I'm filled with awe. The child, we saw that. The child smiles and all my sorrows disappear momentarily. Amazing. It's an amazing thing because that is what gives us the window of opportunity. Window of opportunity to appreciate ourselves. Without that moment, there is no way of Vedanta is not there at all. Vedanta, nobody will just, they will just wash away and said the Vedanta doesn't make any sense. The fact that I know what happiness is. I know that I cannot be but that Ananda Swarupa. That idea is there. That is why this whole analysis is possible, and it gives us a window of opportunity. So the moment the wanting person comes, so the moment I've stopped seeing the stars, the baby scene is all gone. I stand in front of the TV and I'm laughing away, recklessly laughing because of the joke. It's a comedian, fantastic joke, recklessly laughing away. And then now I'm back to my normal senses. And the wanting person comes back. And to the extent that the wanting person comes back, to that extent, my fullness, my limitlessness is abridged, is limited, is edited. The editor, they remove all these words and, this is not needed, that is not needed. You're working in a company, you write a project report, they say, no, take this out, put this in here, don't say it like this. All big constraints are there. So, abridged fullness. Desire satisfied, fullness is there. What about desire not satisfied? Is fullness there or not? See, the husband said, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. You are the first person I am telling this to. And the wife looks back and she replies, promise? So promise means what? Some of you are laughing. So promise you are going to make this happy new year for me? So tell me, some of you are laughing. I will assume that when you are laughing, you are happy. Let's make that assumption for now. Which desire did you satisfy to become happy? Him. Which desire did you satisfy? Nothing. Without satisfying any desire, also we can be. Correct? Very obvious. Happiness, desire satisfied, we are happy. Desire not satisfied, also we can be happy. Desire satisfied, we can be sad also. Is that possible? Desire satisfied, can we be sad? Somebody visited a friend after a long time, and somebody visited an acquaintance, and he was advised, no, don't go there. Then she comes back, she says, I regret visiting the person. What is the meaning of that? My desire was satisfied. That person's desire was satisfied to meet this person after a long time. And now she comes back dejected, sorrowful, and regretting. I don't know why I did not listen to my husband. Okay, look at this regret. So regret is possible because a desire that I had was satisfied, but it didn't make me happy. That was a wrong desire, in other words. So desire satisfaction, no guarantee that it will make me happy. This guy desired to go to work every morning. Everybody rushes to work between 8 and 9. And he goes to work and he's stuck in a traffic jam. I may have said this before. He's stuck in a traffic jam. And he's furious, he's fuming, and I'm going to be 20 minutes late to work. And right in front of his eyes, these twin towers, there are planes, there is a plane that is hitting these towers right in front of his eyes. The whole New York people driving on the roads towards the Twin Towers are watching it. And now tell me what happened. Is this guy fretting and fuming that he's late? Does he say, I wish I were there 20 minutes earlier in this building? No. Desire not fulfilled, we don't know. Desire fulfilled, we don't know what's going to happen. We only think there are certain desires that should be fulfilled. That's all we can say. Therefore, desire fulfilled, desire not fulfilled, we don't have any rules. Absolute rules are not there. So therefore, it should make us ask the question, who am I? What is this stuff? What is this nature? This example itself is sufficient for me to keep on asking myself. When I get disappointed, when something didn't work out, how serious can I take it? How serious can I take it? I have to ask myself the question. Correct? So we are looking at this topic. Sat Chit Anantaha. Sat Chit Anandaha. We are saying that Atma is Sat Chit Anandaha. We have to cover a couple of more things. Probably next class we will continue this discussion and complete it. Before coming to the student's next question, which is what? Sthula Shariram Kim. That is my guess. That should be the next question. Okay. So we will complete the class today here. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Desho Yam Kshobarahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om